All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in the studio, joined by Randy Angston with the Nashville Iron Circle shirt on, one of my favorites.
I know, me too. I like this one.
I'm going to go out there on a limb. I don't think anybody does swag like the Iron Circle does the swag, baby.
Dude, it's pretty legit. Every one of our shirts is like so custom.
Yeah.
So dialed in.
So yeah, we do every event, we do a custom shirt for it. It's got branded. So the one, if you're not looking at this on YouTube, it's got like a skeleton horse guy riding like a cowboy guy.
Yeah, he's like in a bronc.
Yeah.
A skeleton cool. Bronc.
Super, super cool. Speaking of events, we have the Growth Summit. The Growth Summit has been announced at FitProGrowthSummit.com. We are, getting our speaker lineups kind of close to done. We've got a couple surprises we're working on. If you haven't been to a Growth Summit, this will be our fifth one. It started in 2019 on an invite only. Mm-hmm. Somebody was asking me about what got you going to the Growth Summit is, and at the time, this was 2019. I remember doing this. I said, you know what? I don't know. If you looked at the landing page, it even said this. I don't know which way this weekend's going to go, but I will tell you this. There's going to be this, and this networking growth. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep you fed. We're going to have some good times. And what came out of that, it was, the catapult into, the fifth one now. And back then it was an invitation only. Like I personally called, I called people I wanted to be in that room, and I wanted the highest achievers in that room. And that's kind of where the Iron Circle kicked off at the end of that. And so it's come a long way where our productions are going up. Obviously the budget's gone crazy high. If anybody's ever run an event, there's lots of hidden fees. Lots of hidden fees.
It changes once you get in there for sure.
Oh, you wanted chairs?
Tape? You want gaff tape? It's mandatory, by the way, but you wanted it?
Yeah. You want gaff tape to tape the cords down?
$80 a roll.
Yeah, it's funny what these venues charge you for, but don't worry about that. We've got that covered, but what you need to do is get your ticket. So at FitProGrowthSummit.com, you're going to see a code as of right now. The early bird pricing still out there. Save $150 on a ticket. But that will be going away soon as we get into this. So I think we've got something like 55 seats already kind of sold. So it's 25% of this place. We only can hold 200. So jump in now. The longer you wait, the more you pay. So if you're on the fence, I would just go ahead and buy that ticket and lock yourself in. Yeah,
and if you haven't been there, and if you don't know what to experience, I mean, guys, we have a ridiculous amount of belief in this event. We're backing it with a guarantee. If you're on the fence about being there, show up. I promise you, the event is going to be an exponential return on your investment. So much that we're guaranteeing it. So check that out. Mm-hmm. And just book your spot. You're going to want to be in that room.
Yeah, you'll miss out. And there's some videos on there, some content on there you can kind of see from the past in testimonials. So enough about that. FitProGrowthSummit.com next June 8th through 11th in Scottsdale, Arizona. So that's a ways out, but again, this will sell out months in advance. So jump on that now. Okay, this episode comes from some calls that you've been having, Randy, and people reaching out to you. Kind of saying, hey, I'm kind of losing some motivation. How do you stay so motivated? How do you keep going? Why don't you tell everybody kind of what that sounds like?
Yeah. So had a couple people reach out over the weekend, and it was, I don't know, strange. Maybe it's in the air type of thing, It was just a commonality between a couple people that had reached out, and it was how do you stay moving when you don't have the motivation, or how do you get into motion when you've lost that desire to do so, if you may. And I love this topic because this is where I spend a lot of my time, my focus, my work with my coach is on mental toughness. It's on increasing the level of discipline to go do the work when the fun fades. And my response to both of them was twofold. One, you have to be extremely clear on why you're doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. We all say when the why is big enough, the how doesn't matter. We've all heard it a million times, but if you sit down and you write out those goals, if you're very hyper clear on what that purpose for you getting out of bed every morning is, whether it be your kids, whether it be your spouse, whether it be creating the lifestyle that you desire, leaving a legacy, paying it for whatever it may be, you have to be so damn driven by that is going to far outweigh the tired feeling or the lack of motivation, even just the emotion of not doing the work, right? The emotions that come with us picking comfort over the 20-mile march, if you may. And so that's half of it. And then the other half is just staying consistent. And that's my biggest recommendation is when the fun fades and the motivation's not there, go back to the work that you know leads to the result that we're aiming for. Put the focus on the work, on the process, and not the result. And you will consistently find yourself moving forward because that's where the work lies. It is in the mundane. It is in when somebody's the other day, I think it might have been Ryan Stewmans or John Perrin. One of them said something about we get bored as entrepreneurs. And the hard part is when you're bored, usually that's when things are going well, right?
Yeah.
You're doing the process. Everything is as it should be. And that's why you're bored. We're looking for friction. We're looking for the fire to put out. We're looking for something to throw excitement and challenge our day to day. But if we don't have that, we're like, oh, well, let me go seek that out. Let me go look for that. Let me go start something new. But the power is in that march, that 20-mile march, just doing the same thing without the fun, because that's where the results come.
Yeah,
in time.
And the funny, not the really funny thing, the honest truth is this happens to everybody.
Absolutely.
Everybody falls into this at some point in their careers. In fact, I was having a conversation this morning with one of our Iron Circle members, and she was, telling me she was having a tough time juggling the family needs and desires and the entrepreneur side in her business, and she never talked about it. And she's always had this facade of like, I can do it all, or I need to show people that I can do it all. And I told her, listen, everybody falls into this, and it's okay. In fact, this would be a great topic to bring to the Iron Circle in the chat room, to just bring this up, because I mean, especially when you're juggling family, kid, spouse, maybe husband or wife, plus your business, you got to go pick up the kids from school. It gets in the way. And I understand how difficult that is. I'm thankful to have a spouse that will, handle the kids stuff so I don't have to. And she knows, like, hey, you're doing that.
Yeah.
And she protects that. But there's some spouses that are both working, and they both need to kind of split the duties. And so, basically I told her this, she told me this, actually. She told me this: I understand when I'm excited doing is creating content that I know is valuable, selling X, Y, Z. These are the 4 things that I enjoy doing. So she kind of fixed her own problem.
Yeah,
she's like, I need to go do these things. And then the motivation kicks back up. Entrepreneurs are thrive on momentum
and movement. Yeah.
And when things get stagnant, you're just unhappy. And we've talked about this in the past. It's not work to us. It is momentum.
Yeah.
And so that's why going on vacation is difficult, to stop the momentum in its tracks and go enjoy a vacation when every day is technically a vacation anyways. To me, it is. It's when I lose momentum in the business, that's when I kind of go into a hole a little bit, and it's like crap. So you have to step back and realize this is happening, because a lot of people don't even realize it's happening right now in front of them. I'm losing momentum, therefore I'm unhappy, and then it just keeps the cycle going. Trigger something that builds momentum.
Yep.
One of the best things that we've ever done is like when we know we have a conference coming up, or there's like a family thing to do, is to set up some automation ahead of time and have that trickling in the background when you're out of town, and boom, all of a sudden you come back with some sales calls to do with, or maybe some actual sales came in while you were out of town.
It's like hitting cruise control on the gas, like literally setting the speed while you're not in that driver's seat, right? Like you're coming back, but you haven't lost that momentum. That's everything. That's everything. To that point, I mean, it's difficult, right? And I think part of that reason we might get deterred or feel some shame or that struggle around the balance. Like, first of all, guys, you have children. It's equally as important to spend that pillar, time with that pillar than it is to show up at your job or whatever it else is. Like these are the aspects of the pillars of life that we need to focus on and juggle to a degree. But the problem a lot of people experience too is the comparison to others. How do they do it so well with a smile on their face, or how? And I think that's why my friends reach out to me, is because they do see probably these reels. They see how, my posts on a daily basis. And to your point earlier, everybody falls. Guys, I'm the first to admit, like, I don't execute everything that I want to do, far from, but I'm consciously working on that. And everybody has that ability. So, the comparison or, that you have to somebody else who seems like they have it all together, or who seems like it's they're just great at everything that they do. Remember that the things that you're seeing is their highlight reel.
Always.
It's always, they're not on social media. And usually if somebody's on social media and talking about the suck, or like when they did hit their knees, or, when all of the pain that they're going through, half the time, guys, that's an intentional post to get your empathy going, and they're trying to relate to you. And there's a sale tactic in there too. And so
let's go back. Yeah, I know exactly. Be careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Falling for that. But let's go back to the boredom. Entrepreneurs like to create. In fact, I am at my best when I have 25,000 things happening, and I wouldn't probably be at my top of my game unless I did have all that. So it's you got to know where your comfort level is and where your zone of genius lives. And for me personally, I have to have that land deal going on. I have to have this remodel going on. We have to be doing the Grow Summit. We have to have our Iron Circle stuff. We have to have our coaching clients going. I have to have a gym, right? Yeah. That to me, if I didn't have all that, I wouldn't be real happy, like momentum, right? Mm-hmm. But there's some people with all this stuff would crumble underneath that kind of pressure. And I get it, right? I know that we're not all created equal. I know I'm not normal. I know it. I could just look around, even at my family. I was out of town helping my parents move to Florida, and there was a family gathering, and I'm listening to kind of like everybody's life and everything. I was like, man, there's no entrepreneurs in this entire family. I'm not normal. There's not one.
And those listening, most of us, or most of you guys listening, you've made a choice to pursue some level of growth. That is an anomaly in society. Most people are just go with the flow. You know what I mean? Whatever comes their way or falls in front of them is the choices that they decide from. They're not out pursuing a greater result for their business. They're not out there looking for, how they can change their personality types or their belief systems, or, use what they have available within themselves to get a better performance, right? This is an anomaly, and that's an okay thing. That's a beautiful thing for those, because when you embrace that, you get the results of those that take those, effort, put in that effort and do that work.
Yeah, I think self-realization is the biggest ticker here, right? Yeah. Like if all of a sudden, you may not even realize what's going on in your life. You may just think you're just going down this path and it's normal, but when you take a step back and you realize, wow, there's not a whole lot of people doing this. I'm taking big risk. I should be proud of myself for doing this. A lot of us don't give ourselves enough credit.
Absolutely.
Or stop and look back and say, where were you 5 years ago to where you are today, or whatever that looks like for you. You started this business. Be proud of that. Okay. And so the momentum thing and the whole topic of this podcast, that alone should spark that energy back up. I mean, because you need that spark. You need to realize, holy cow, I have done a lot. I have come a long way. This is pretty damn cool. Mm-hmm. And be proud of that. And maybe just then and there, you're like, man, okay, I got this. Let me keep moving forward, because we don't stop enough and realize, dude, there's a lot that I've done or you've done or whatever. You just think it's normal. It's not. So take a step back every once in a while, take a breath, and like, hey man, even if you're feeling kind of down or you're not feeling like this week went really well for you, it's always good to kind of go back and look and say, man, we are doing some stuff here.
Yeah. Look at what I've accomplished. Look at what, absolutely. That's a great place to be. And remember, moving forward, if you don't, that's the thing is like, when you have that level of gratitude, you're not going to be in a place of, you can't be in a place of gratitude and be in a negative mindset. It's not possible. That's a challenge. Good luck. Go break that one and tell me about it. I can't wait. But then when you do have that type of ability to reframe or put yourself back into a place of, all right, I got this, then you might not have the motivation to go do and perform at 100%, but you have to take that first step. You have to continue the movement and do the work. Action solves all type of mentality. That was kind of the takeaway that I told, those that reached out to me this weekend was, guys, what you see me saying is like, that's intentional. I'm there. I'm saying those things online because I believe this, and I want you to have that type of. I want it to have that effect on others. I want them to come with me type of feel. But that's not the whole way I live. So, giving some clarity and transparency that there are days where we don't feel like it too. But what do we do in those days? We stay in motion. We do the things that we know lead to the result we're looking for, despite how we feel. My coach, Ben, standards over emotions, right? Like that's his whole thing. Mm-hmm. We do the work despite the way that we feel because the results come from the process and not the emphasis on the result.
Perfect. Well said. I think we'll end it there because that's all that needs to be said on that. And, hopefully this helps you guys. If you do need help, if you need, mindset coaching as part of our accelerator program, mm-hmm. check out our coaching program. This is a big part of that. I think it's one of the bigger pieces that is missing in most coaching business programs is the stuff that Randy does here, the mindset and kind of keep you motivated and all this stuff. And check that out, winninggym.com/grow. That's it for this episode. Until next show, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. All right. And thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. And when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.